This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields. Make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter at Johnny10Shields, as this is a tough one. This is one of the ones where the Rays are going to look back if they miss the playoffs and say, that's one that was winnable and just we couldn't get it done. It's as simple as that. I do want to address the postcast yesterday. I was filming the postcast as normal, and then my Wi-Fi went out of nowhere. So that's why the postcast, if you're in it, ended abruptly. If you're looking for it, why it wasn't there. We got all that stuff figured out. It will not happen again. But yeah, obviously, it's about the worst time it is for my Wi-Fi to go out in that spot. But in this one, there's a lot of talk going to be about Pete in that ninth inning and everything. But at the end of the day, the offense did not do enough. It's as simple as that. I thought Shane Baz really battled in this one. I mean, he got out of that jam in the fourth inning and only held it to 2. I thought that was a huge point in the game. Awful base running. Probably the worst base run in the entire season today. And this was very like 2022-esque, 2023-esque, or more 2023 with the base running that we saw today. We're going to look ahead. But first, we got to talk about why this is such a crushing loss.
This is what you'll be talking about.
It is such a crushing loss because this was a game where I didn't think that the Rays outplayed Cleveland. I thought Cleveland outmanaged the Rays. I thought Cleveland was better offensively. I thought Cleveland was better pitching. I thought Cleveland was better defensively today. But this was one I felt like the Rays could steal. Josh Lowe did a great job getting that fastball, hit a home run. We catch a little bit of a break. Yandy scores Tristian Gray. Good to see Tristian Gray in against the righty because Carson Williams is struggling on the struggle bus against the righty right now. And this just felt like the Rays had games stolen from them so many times this year. And I really felt like this was one the Rays could steal. And they didn't. They just couldn't come up with one. And when Pete gave it up again in the ninth, you just knew the Rays weren't going to score. It wasn't that type of game. I don't know if that was just me. I don't know if that was me just being pessimistic. But when it came to that ninth inning, and even when with the batters that the Rays, you had Lowe Jr. and Josh Lowe coming up, I just never felt comfortable with that. And that's kind of the difference. The Rays couldn't steal this one. And a lot of the times when the Rays went on their drought, obviously they got a lot of games stolen from them. And that is a backbreaker, to say the least, because when you look at this one, I'm extremely confident in the Rays winning tomorrow. With Rasmussen on the mound, you see their lefty Mazzetic for the second time. I am ultra confident in the Rays winning tomorrow. If you got this game, if you stole this game, it just puts you in such a good situation going forward. Now, look, the Rays go to Chicago after this game. You win tomorrow, you win another 3. Like, you're in a good spot. But Seattle's going to win. You're going to be 3 back with 21 to play. I believe it's around that number. And again, this is really there's 5 or 6 games that are circled this season. Like, those are tough ones. This one isn't quite there, but it's there in the sense that, man, this was a winnable game for the Rays when they didn't play their best, and they haven't won enough of those games this year, and they've lost a ton of games the other way around. So, I saw this comment right away from Coastal Kyle. First of all, thank you for the comment. I believe your first time commenter. He says, "Can't wait to hear your defense of Pete. You defend him. You can't defend him or Kevin anymore. There was no reason whatsoever to put him in the game." So I'll defend both of them, actually. So with the base running, Jake Mangum went by himself. That was not a called play from Kevin Cash. Kevin Cash is going to get the heat for it. That play was not put on. Jake thought he had a read, and he got busted for it. Never there's no one I thought that had a higher baseball IQ than Jake Mangum. There's no one that plays harder than Jake Mangum. Like, this is not that much of a criticism of him because he's brought so much to the team this year. But in that, you got to know the situation there. It's bases loaded. You got to let your guy hit there. If you steal, what are the odds that you actually steal home? How often do we see it? Almost never. Almost never. So I just don't love it there. For Pete, look, Pete never should have been in that spot because it should have been a strike him out, throw him out. It was strike 3, and then he was out on the steal. You give up a single at 80 right off the bat to Stephen Kwan. To begin with, Stephen Kwan never should have been hitting. You have a base open. Cleveland legitimately has 2 hitters that strike any kind of fear into you. The fact that with a base open, Stephen Kwan was hitting there when you have a guy coming up, and that was pinch hit for Valera went over for his 250. Martinez, who pinch hit for him, hits 220. The fact that you're letting Quan hit with 2 guys on base on the biggest point of the game, that's the biggest mistake for me from Kevin Cash. And then from Pete, like, look, I've been one to say that Pete should have been pitching the 9th. My view on Pete Fairbanks does not change. Pete got unlucky tonight. Pete was in a spot where you give up a single the other way. It's whatever. Should have been strike 3. You could argue should never gone to ball 3 in the first place to put himself. This should be ball 4. That's a different argument. It should have been strike 3. And then I thought you shouldn't have pitched Saquon at all. You pitched Saquon. He hits it right where the defense is it, right? So, like, this isn't one of those games where Pete gets barreled up and he gives up all those home runs. This one is one of the ones, again, that's tough to stomach because the Guardians didn't put up such crazy at-bats. It was a little bit of luck. And sometimes you need a little bit of luck, a little bit of luck to win. But, yeah, it's tough because I like the Rays odds going into the bottom of the 9th and extras if they were able to get out of that. And they just couldn't. It is tough. It's tough. And look, Pete's going through it right now. He's going through a rough spot. You said it went through it earlier in the year, right? Baker went through it when he got to Tampa. It happens. The only one that really hasn't happened to is Clevenger. Jax is still going through a tough time. Pete's is just coming in a really bad time. If you go look at his numbers, which we did before, this little group of his last 5 or 6 outings is a pretty big outlier in his entire season. So, again, we talked about it. As baseball fans, we can't be so close-minded of thinking, oh, this game is so important and what happened in the last 10 games. You got to think of it 162 games. And by the time it's all said and done, the 162-game sample size of Pete Fairbanks is going to be a lot better than I think some of you guys think. So, again, I'm not in the belief that Pete Fairbanks should be pitching in the 9th inning. I've been on record saying that. I would double down on that. But his outing today wasn't because his stuff was bad. He got a little bit unlucky, and that happens in baseball. We still have a ton more to talk about. We're going to talk about more about this offense because they were atrocious today. And how Shane Baz, I thought, really battled. Really impressed Shane Baz his last 3 starts now. We'll talk a little bit more about the base run, and we'll look ahead right after this. This episode is brought to you by Zippix. Zippix toothpicks. Whether you're looking for a nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-induced infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy your cravings and hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. Although available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligrams and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com and use code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older to order. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's at zippixtoothpicks.com. Promo code LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix toothpicks. This episode is also brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape and ginger and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for energy game. Whether you're on the course or just need a little extra push to power you through the day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers a clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. You guys know it has been a long few days, especially if you're a Florida fan. USF, if you're a Florida fan watching, I hope you guys took some 5-Hour Energy to help get you in the better mood and more energized for this postcast. And golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. A grape, ginger, lime flavor 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the golf cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win your dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit FIE-H-E-win.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Exclusive Masters Tournament. Ends October 31st. As we are going to speak on the offense now. If you guys are in the live, please make sure you leave a like and comment. Just not good enough today. I mean, Tristian Gray was your best hitter. He continues to put together really big at-bats for the Rays. If I'm Kevin Cash, I'm putting him in every single time there's a righty until he cools off or whatever. A guy I'm pretty disappointed in is what Richie Pistachios has done his last few games. The Rays are in this tough part now where they need to see guys, if guys are going to be on their roster kind of going forward. And Richie is 1 for 11 since he's been back. But the Rays need to keep playing Richie because they need to see if he's going to be a part of their future next year. Josh Lowe continues to swing the bat well, but it was the hits coming in not big times. Like the Rays only got 2 players into scoring position. So the Rays got six hits, but only a few of them got into scoring position. Obviously, Josh Lowe home run takes that away. You get the Tristian Gray double. That's one of them, right? The 2 at bats with running scoring position came when Tristian Gray was on second base. So it's a lot of singles when nobody's on base, right? It's not a lot of stacking hits together, which is what the Rays have done so well when they won 7 in a row. Shane Baz, 5 innings, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. When he's in the zone, his stuff is electric. His knuckle curve is one of the best pitches that a starter has, I think, in baseball. His fastball, man, he got that fastball up a few times in the triple digits, which he's done, but I feel like he did it more today. So when you look at his breakdown, he was heavy fastball 44% of the time, then knuckle curve through the changeup more, which I've been kind of begging for Shane Baz to use more. His average fastball does almost 98 miles per hour, almost a full mile per hour higher than his season average. So again, incredibly impressed with Shane Baz and the bounce back he's had to the end of this season. But let's quickly look ahead to the game tomorrow, because I think tomorrow is such a massive game. If the Rays lose tomorrow and Seattle wins, you're back to 4 games back, and that's, in my opinion, that's super tough. I know the Rays gain like 5 games in a week. That's an outlier. That doesn't happen a ton. And you got your ace going down. You got Drew Rasmussen going to mound 10-5, 270, right, going up against Parker Mazissic, who dominated the Rays his last time out. And his second career start, 7 innings, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks. His last time out against Boston, he got roughed up. 3 2/3, 9 hits, 3 earned, only 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. I firmly believe, I don't know why, I don't have any underlying, it's just a gut feeling that the Rays are going to hit Mazissic tomorrow. And Christopher Morel is another guy that's been putting together really good at bats. And I think you talk about a guy you want to see a future on. I think Chris Morel should start 2-3 games in a row. I don't know. I've been saying it for a little bit now, but it's besides the point. Tomorrow's such a big game for the Rays. If you drop that before you go to Chicago, you only have a few of these games left against non-elite teams before you play the Cubs, the Blue Jays 7 times, the Red Sox, right? Those are 3 of your last 4 series of the season. So you need to win these games now before you get to those games. Let's get to the comments as we go to Jack's Takes. He says, brought back to reality, but in this one's on Baz. He has shown us enough to know he's not ready for primetime. I mean, I disagree. Yes, he was roughed up in the 4th inning, but it was 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And he got out of it, right? You're going to give up runs. As a starter, you're not going to go 7 innings and no hits. It's worse that Tanner Bybee went 7 innings, 2-run ball. And it was really, it should have been, Tristian Gray probably should have been out at home if that ball was fielded normally on Yandy's field of choice. But yeah, it is tough. As we go to Coast Call again, why send Yandy, why still home? Yeah, both of those are, I get the Yandy one a little bit, trying to catch him by surprise, but again, you looking at the odds, like what are the odds Yandy's going to get a steal there? Like not high, and he was thrown out by a little bit with a good jump. As Douglas says, I think a steal of home is a higher percentage of success than Carson getting hit on an 0-2 count. I disagree. I mean, I'm really eager to see the numbers on like stealing home, and I know it's a lefty, so the numbers are a little bit different. But anyone that's not like dumb, to be honest, the catcher sees the guy stealing home, just like Naylor did. He puts up his hands. Pitcher throws it home, and the guy's normally dead to rights. You rarely get a moment like Yandy, like Randy had in the 2023 playoffs, where you steal home and it's the last playoff game the Rays won. So, yeah. As we go to Charlie Smith, he says, "I know Pete Fairbanks got screwed with the umpire today, but he seems to be lacking confidence. Maybe we should give him a break with the pressure cooking scenarios. Let him pitch 7th or 8th." I agree, and I think he's closer to being back than he is to regressing again. But yeah, it did not do him any favors. It did not do him any favors tonight. As Gary says, this is a tough part. It's not that Pete Fairbanks having a tough time. It's going to happen in a 162 game season. It's when he's having it, it makes it so heartbreaking. And that's 100% right. And that's kind of like the double-edged sword when you're the closer, that 9th inning guy. It's Pete's. You guys are going to look back and kind of be surprised of how good of a season Pete's going to end up having. But his blown saves, his failures to hold, blown holds, right, or stuff like that, are going to be louder because of the situations that he pitches in. And that's just what they do. Is go back to Douglas Pisa says that they're not a playoff team. If they get in, they're going nowhere. You never know. In baseball, especially, if you get in, anything can happen. We saw the happen with the Rangers and the Rays. I said Randy 2023. Randy in 2022, he stole home. Not 2023, 2023. The Rays lost to the Rangers in the wild card. who end up winning the World Series. And who they play in that World Series? The Diamondbacks, who were the last team in. So I think in baseball, more than any sport, you get in, anything can happen. So, maybe they aren't a playoff team. I mean, talent-wise, I don't think they're a top 7, 8 talent team in the MLB, but that doesn't mean the Rays can't get hot in October. Now, are the odds for that? Obviously not. But I wouldn't sit there and just clearly say when they're 3 back with 21 to play that they're not a playoff team. They're still right there. But in terms of them getting to the playoffs, it starts with getting a win tomorrow and then go at the very least taking 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Probably need a sweep. But it's hard to just say go sweep teams, right? But, the White Sox are like the Nationals. They're just kind of walking to the finish. Rays have struggled against the White Sox a lot the last 2 years. But, again, if you want to make the playoffs, you got to win/sweep those series. So we're going to get out of here. If you guys made it in, make sure you guys leave a like and comment on the replay. I appreciate every guys for joining. I appreciate every single person left a comment. And I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon, hopefully after a Rays win. See you guys then.